mRNA. Most of us have heard the term being thrown around, especially in the early COVID-19 vaccine rollout, but can we confidently say we know what it is and how it works? That will be the aim of today's video, to be able to walk away feeling like we understand some of the fundamentals. So, mRNA is something called messenger RNA. Messenger RNA acts like a set of instructions or a recipe telling our little protein factories in our cells what proteins it should churn out for various functions. Proteins to head to the liver and help detoxify our body, or proteins to head to our muscles and help with mobility. mRNA receives this genetic information from our DNA. So, how does this technology relate to developing vaccines? Well, instead of injecting a version, live or dead, of the virus itself into your body, and your immune system recognizing this foreign intruder and initiating an attack against it, mRNA-developed vaccines inject only the elements of the virus that contain the genetic material required that would induce an immune response in our bodies. Although most of us in the general public only started hearing about mRNA during the early COVID-19 period, it is not a new discovery. The discovery of mRNA itself was founded in the 1960s, but research by scientists for mRNA technology as a potential for varying treatments has been ongoing since the early 1990s. The first successful application of this technology was published in 1990 by a group of scientists who had success in gene transferring, resulting in protein expression into mice muscle. In 2005, we had further success in being able to modify the nucleotides of the RNA to allow for longer viability of the technology within the body. Now, because our immune system is so good at attacking foreign intruders, the early studies had ongoing issues of mRNA being destroyed by the body before it could make the protein product. In 2013, we held the very first human clinical trials of this technology applied in vaccinology for infectious diseases. At the time, it was rabies. This study proved tolerability and safety, but we'll go into further detail on this later on in the video. For now, let's fast forward to 2020.
The COVID-19 vaccine is an example of a recently administered messenger RNA vaccine. It uses lipid nanoparticles with mRNA code to produce the spike proteins that the coronavirus uses to enter the cell. The mRNA vaccine is inserted into the body to encode an antigen in the DNA template where it reaches the cytosol, where the mRNA is then transcribed. This transcription allows the desired sequence to be designed and delivered to the required cells. Once this process has happened, the mRNA is recognized by the endosomal receptors, which lead to the activation of the interferon pathways. Then the production of the chemokines and the pro-inflammatory cytokinesis. Altogether, these processes in the antigen cell provide an immune system against the virus and mitigate illness. But what are the advantages of mRNA vaccines? Well, they are faster and easier to mass produce, meaning that the production of them is inexpensive and more economically suitable. This has proven to be crucial in the last 2 years during the coronavirus pandemic. This quick delivery is due to its well-defined structure and biotechnology that allows for large-scale synthesis via in vitro transcribed from the genetic material. mRNA vaccines also have an effective preventative measure that lasts for extended periods of time, unlike other oral medications. However, mRNA vaccines are not 100% effective against illness and contain their own individual challenges from being a relatively new technology. With research still lacking about any long-term effects or expression of undesirable traits, there's still a long way to go. But one side effect that has arisen recently is blood clotting with the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines. This is usually a normal process that controls excessive bleeding when blood cells attach to open wounds with the help of proteins. Although this side effect only seems to be exhibited in very few individuals, a study performed by Greenwich recorded that 28 individuals exhibited thrombosis following administration of the COVID vaccine. We can assume the risk to life is very minimal and nearly zero, but it's still something. With so many advantages, it's clear with more research and technological advancements, the future of mRNA vaccines is endless.
mRNA vaccines are being further researched in the hope that they will have many more useful applications in the future, particularly within the biopharmaceutical industry. The effectiveness of these vaccines in the management of the COVID pandemic has resulted in the further research into how these vaccines can be used for influenza as an alternative to traditional vaccines. Clearly, the ability for mRNA vaccines to be engineered and produced at an extraordinarily fast rate is highly advantageous, especially when dealing with such a disease that mutates regularly, requiring the manufacturing of new vaccines each flu season. Excitedly, further research into mRNA vaccines has presented the possibility for the application outside of the management of infectious disease. The ability for mRNA vaccines to code for specific proteins on cells could bring about new and possibly life-saving treatments for autoimmune diseases such as allergies. Allergies are very common. If you don't have any yourself, you'll most likely know someone who does. They are caused by a hypersensitivity of the immune system, mistaking non-harmful substances as pathogens. This causes symptoms of sneezing, hives, swelling, and possibly anaphylaxis. As allergies are caused by an immune response, proteins present on the allergen can be isolated and coded as mRNA, allowing the body to develop immunoglobulins to fight the antigen upon exposure with the presentation of no symptoms. A study conducted in 2015 presented promising results, where an mRNA vaccine containing grass pollen allergen was injected into mice. After injection, it was found that the mice had developed immunoglobulins which could fight the allergen and cause no symptoms following the re-exposure. This type of mRNA vaccine technology is also being looked into in the way of treating cancer, by isolating the rapidly reproducing cancer cell and engineering an mRNA vaccine to teach the body how to fight and kill problem cells. All in all, mRNA vaccines have thus far had significantly positive impacts in the management of infectious disease. Its ability to code for specific genetic material of a target cell is highly advantageous and has a very high possibility of being effective in the management of other illnesses resulting from cell dysfunction as well as autoimmune diseases. Thank you for joining us in exploring the exciting applications of mRNA vaccines. We hope you enjoyed learning about it as much as we have.